Well, it's not the first time Israel's thought to have targeted Hezbollah positions inside Syria. In 2013, it allegedly hit 3 areas in the Damascus suburbs and reportedly destroyed Iranian rockets used by Hezbollah. Damascus International Airport was also hit months later. Last year, the Syrian army said Israel had targeted one of its military air bases close to the presidential palace in the capital. On the 17th of April, Israel confirmed targeting what it said was a Hezbollah weapons convoy. Syrian forces responded by firing missiles at the Israeli jets. And 4 days ago, Israel reportedly attacked pro-government groups in the countryside of Quneitra in the Golan Heights. Well, let's get more on this now. We're joined by Rami Khouri, Senior Fellow and Professor of Public Policy at the American University of Beirut. He's joining us live from there. Mr. Khouri, always good to speak with you on Al Jazeera. So Israel neither confirming nor denying if they carried out Thursday morning's attacks. But we did have a rare admission just yesterday that Israel targeted missiles in Syria last month. There's the attack in the Golan Heights last week. Are we seeing an escalation of Israeli intervention in Syria or a continuation of their stated anti-Hezbollah policy?
You're seeing several things happening at the same time. It certainly is a continuation of long-standing Israeli policy, which is to do anything that Israel feels it needs to do to attack any target, to kill any person, to disrupt any movement in order to protect itself if it feels threatened. So they've been doing this for years in Lebanon or in Syria. The second thing that's going on is that there's changes going on the ground all over Syria because of the war that's been going on for 6 years, and particularly on the Golan Heights area. So Israel has been more active recently in several different ways, attacking pro-government groups and sometimes attacking some of the rebel groups, especially if they're linked to ISIS and others. And the third thing that's fascinating is that the Russians are in Syria in a big way militarily. And the Israeli defense minister was in Moscow yesterday talking to the Russian defense minister and Russian foreign minister, so that Israel is able to carry out these attacks at a very prominent target, the international airport of Damascus, near Damascus, and the Russians are all over Syria with their planes and radar and don't do anything about it. So there's a fascinating movement of actors and targets and diplomatic relations going on, which will take some time to settle down into a new pattern.
Yeah, very interesting that Avigdor Lieberman has been in Russia while this attack took place. So no pressure, it sounds like, from the Russian government to protect their Syrian ally. What about the Syrian government itself? Because after last month's attack, it did retaliate, fired surface-to-air missiles at the Israeli planes. Can we expect the Syrian government to respond again to this?
Well, they might try to do something symbolic. They might have somebody in Syria or in southern Lebanon fire some rocket or something into Israel, but it would only be really symbolic. The Syrian government and its military is in a very difficult position. They're stretched out, they're exhausted. They'll only be able to stay in power because of their support from Russia, Iran, and Hezbollah, both in military terms as well as political and economic terms. So it's unlikely Syria is going to do anything dramatic as a response, but this has been a problem for Syria for the last many years, that they just cannot match the power of Israel. And what's new now is the impunity of Israel, not just because the West, the Americans and others won't do anything, the Arabs don't seem to be able to do anything, and now the Russians and the Iranians also seem not to be able to do anything or don't care to do anything to stop Israeli attacks. So this is a troubling situation for people in the Arab world, but it is the dilemma of the modern Arab political order that has been unable to in any way check the power or the aggressive acts of Israel.
Mr. Khouri, great to get your thoughts. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you.